I have never been more excited to see a movie than I was when I sat in the crowded theaters to watch Freddy vs. Jason. Ever since I saw Freddy's glove pull Jason's mask down to hell at the end of Jason Goes to Hell as a kid, I have been waiting patiently for the film. Every year I would hear it was coming, and then my hopes would be dashed. Finally, I gave up hope until one day in 2003 when I sat in the theaters. Was it worth the wait? I'll show you soon. And I'll actually show you some of my favorite ideas for the film that never made it into the film. And I'll tell you my own idea I would have used if I was writing the film. Let me know in the comments section who you were cheering for. As for me, I am Team Jason all the way. First off, the positives. The plot is unusually good for this type of film. They did a good job putting the two titans together. It was really cool to see Jason's mom in a short cameo, even if it was just Freddy in disguise. This is sadly Robert Englund's last performance as Freddy, and to me this is one of his best performances of the character, certainly the best since Nightmare 3. He is still in dark comedy mode, but he's more charming than annoying here. And the fight, well, from a purely aesthetic point of view, it's cool. If I had never seen any of the movies before this one, I would have thought it was really cool, but we'll get to that later. Now the negatives. The good news is there's lots of kills. The bad news is most of them are lame and by the numbers. Yes, the Trey kill was one of the best kills ever, but that was just one kill. Another is the fact that I could care less about any of the characters here. They're not unlikable exactly, just boring and forgettable. For a Friday movie, that's nothing serious. But for a Nightmare movie that is generally more character driven, it was a letdown. And yes, it was a really douche thing to do, to not let Kane Hodder be Jason. I mean, he is almost as iconic in the character as Englund is for Freddy. The guy who replaced him is okay, I guess. It's hard to screw up a character that has no lines and just has to look big and scary, but he is no Kane Hodder, and he's missed. This is clearly a Freddy movie with Jason just being a supporting character, but oddly enough, Jason does all the work. Freddy kills a whopping one guy, and it's a lame kill. But the biggest problem to me is the fight itself. It's only natural that Freddy be unbeatable in the dream world, but he was almost as good in the real world. He beat up on Jason way too much. You see, as to be expected, Jason is a lot stronger than Freddy physically, but he's also slow and immobile, while Freddy is as quick as Bruce Lee. And Freddy clearly beat Jason on points, probably 10 hits for every Jason hit, though Jason's hits were much more powerful. Don't think that because I'm a proud Jason fanatic that I would just be making a hissy fit if my guy didn't win. In fact, Jason actually did win, spoiler alert, by default, because he simply had more stamina and one of the annoying characters, rightly believing Freddy was the greater evil, interfered. So we don't know for sure who would have won. Yeah, it looked cool, but it was lame to do that to Jason, and that's why I would say this film wasn't really worth the wait, or the hype. And I was mostly disappointed. This is a perfect example of a mediocre film. It's not bad by any means, but it's certainly not good either. Yes, it could have been so much worse, but if the best thing you can say about a film is that it could have been worse, then it's probably just not that good to begin with. If I was writing the film, obviously I would have had my boy Jason win, but just barely. It would be an even fight with no one interfering, and both legends would get the respect they deserve. Then I would probably have Tommy kill Jason while he's too weak from the fight to defend himself. Oh yeah, I would bring back the best survivors from the other films. Tommy, of course, Jenny, Chris, and Tina from the Friday the 13th franchise, and Alice and Jesse from Nightmare on Elm Street. And most of them would be killed off by the end of the film. Now for my 5 favorite or interesting plots that didn't make the cut, usually for a good reason. My personal favorite alternate ending was to have Pinhead come out and attack the guys and say, "Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?" Unfortunately, they couldn't get the rights to Pinhead, so this awesome ending would never make the cut. Another cool idea was to have 2 different endings. Depending on the theater, you would either see Jason win or Freddy win. One of the more controversial ideas was to have Freddy be a camp counselor who molested a young Jason and then drowned him to cover it up. This would have made Freddy, shall we say, less sympathetic. I'm really glad they didn't go with this one. Another idea had the real Jason on trial. You see, the movies would have been based off the real killer's exploits instead of being real. And finally, we have an interesting idea where Jason and Freddy are already in hell and they're in a boxing match fighting. Ted Bundy would have been the announcer, and in the front row would have been Adolf Hitler. What a weird idea. Oh yeah, there was that idea of having a cult of Freddy, but the less said about that one, the better.